Now this is really good. Actually, it's all good. What was this one?
Apple butter.
Oh, that's why I like that.
So I was raised in Muskegon Heights, Michigan, in a family of 3. We sold barbecue on the weekends. So I was always around food. Everything it was always right with the world.
My favorite food before I got into the facility was probably a dessert. I'm a cheesecake fanatic.
Oh, barbecue.
Biscuits and gravy.
Okay. And so now that would be what?
Biscuits and gravy.
Well, barbecue is still my favorite food.
Okay.
However, one thing that this class has taught me is to never turn something down until you try it first.
So I don't like melons, but
And I do not like beets. I've never liked beets. Until I found out that they could slice them, deep fry them, put salt on it, and then I could eat it like a chip. And then apparently I like beets.
Beet has a very, as they would say, earthy taste. However, when they prepared it up here, I was, man, delicious.
I don't eat watermelon, so I'm gonna try the watermelon rind. Oh, okay.
Okay.
No. All right.
When I come through these doors, I'm more of a mentor.
Chef d'Avent, or they like to call me the drink man.
I'm not an inmate no more. I'm at work.
I'm holding down 4 positions. I do the clerical work as well as work in the garde manger department, which deals with appetizers, salads, small bites. I also deal with the bakery area. So I work in the bakery area as the tutor for that area, as well as work out in the garden.
I'm in charge of math and in charge of the galley, knife skills, cooking, spices, all the stuff that has to do with the galley.
When I come through the doors from being outside on the yard, I can say I'm a civilian. I'm learning to bake now. I made a pecan, banana, nut bread, and as well as I made a chocolate chip banana pudding.
You would never know that this is on a prison ground at all, and until you actually get through the doors. So for many of the inmates, once they're in the facility, they're an inmate. But once they walk through your doors in your classroom, they are a what?
They're just a normal culinary arts student. I set it up this way because, because television has messed it up for things like this. When they talk about prisons or show prisons on TV, it shows all they do is play cards and play basketball and, lift weights. But you never see the educational side that goes on in the classroom. And so I set up the classroom so it would be, peaceful and serene.
In the morning, like in the AM time, the AM class, we would have gospel music playing, which is something that you normally would not hear on the compound itself. The compound is more, rap, R&B, so on and so forth, country music, so on and so forth. But up here, Chef starts you off with a positive attitude, positive mindset, plays a little gospel for you, just to get your mind and your spirit in a better and more right place. What motivates me is Chef Hill himself, because he is a very good, patient, kind individual. For example, he likes to read the Word of God in the morning. He'll go in the office, open up the Bible, and he'll spend a few good minutes in there reading that. And that touched me greatly, because that's something that you rarely see, somebody that's looking to something higher than themselves for guidance. And he inspires me to do the same thing. I brought my Bible up here, and I'll sit down and read as well.
Our drama level here is really low. We don't do drama. Really, if you didn't look out here, out the window and see this barbed wire fence, you wouldn't know that you were in a prison.
Most of the students that are in your program are 18 months out or less from being released, right?
Right.
So what do you feel like is their motivator to be in this program?
Well, usually, I mean, obviously, the end factor is the food, but I always tell them that it's more to it than just the food, because, it's all about the journey. Yes, we do hamburgers and french fries. We do prime rib. We do lobster bisque. We do things that I'm trying to teach them so they can secure a job once they get out, and to be able to raise their families and do the things that, a structured job provides them, so that they'll have that training. I feel like they should be afforded the same type of education as if they were going to Johnson & Wales or the CIA, or Escoffier, because just because they're locked up doesn't mean that they can't learn.
Our first packet starts out with fractions, and I'll go through and I'll spend an hour showing them how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions by hand. Well, when we get done, I show them how to do it on the computer, and they ask me, why didn't you show me that in the first place? I said, well, when you go home, your niece, your nephew, your son, your daughter, your grandchild, whatever it is, they're going to say, can you help me with my math? It's going to be fractions. You're not going to have a fraction calculator. You need to know how to do it.
The program here at the facility, it should take about 11, 12 months maybe. And it's basically, there's 3 national certificates. There's a Serve Safe Manager, which you normally see in restaurants. There should be at least 2 per shift or so. And then there's Pro Start 1 and 2, which is a foundations curriculum that is backed by the American Culinary Federation. And then also there is a hotel and lodging part, and that is where we talk about working in the hotels, front of the house, back of the house, registration desks, housekeeping.
You'll see there's 2 different types of inmates, and you see the changes that occur for them while they're here. The majority of the prisoners that are incarcerated are coming home. Do you want someone that comes home with a life skill and is able to go back to society and be a productive member?
I determine the spacing of the plants as well as the different items that'll go into the garden. Also determine the size of the beds, and we're organic, so feeding periods for plants, all of those type of watering systems, all of those things we're working with.
There's cabbage. Coming on down this way, we have more melons. These mounds here are potatoes. We would just take one here, and so basically what we do is we clean the beet off, and then we cook the beet greens.
Nice.
So everything out here, we try to, utilize everything.
So I see behind me, these look like flowers, and these are edible. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, ma'am.
But you drive an hour to work every day to enter a facility that's surrounded by barbed wires. You go through security, there's a pat down. Explain to me what that's like for you to do that for so many years.
Initially, when I first started, it was a little strange because, every day there's someone, shaking you down, patting you down. But once you get into the routine and you get into the career, it just becomes second nature. I remember talking to my mom because she worked at Muskegon General Hospital for 36 years. And this is some years ago. But she said, baby, I sure hope you stay on your first job as long as I stayed on mine. And I was like, Mom, that's 36 years. Well, now here I am I'm on 37. And so, I wish she could be here to see this, because I know she would be proud.
I say it's one of the things that put this facility on the map. If you talk about Lakeland, one of the first words that come out of your mouth is going to be the food tech program, followed by Chef Hill.
I've had a couple that have done extremely well. He left here from being a prisoner, and basically he went from a prisoner to a proprietor. I mean, he owns his own restaurant, a food truck, and a brick and mortar. Ernest Davis, who is a chef in the Benton Harbor area. And both of those guys, they are part of actually a documentary that they're filming about the program. And so when they got out, the cameras continued to follow them to show that their progress during the time after incarceration.
Chef Bill was like an MVP here. What football player would you compare him to?
He's, I would say Tom Brady, even though he's a giant Minnesota Vikings fan. He's kind of my Tom Brady. He's been here for years, continues to win and excel.
I feel like you deserve a hug. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for shedding some light on our program.
Thank you for hosting this program. Thank you for you coming here every day. Thank you for being a mentor. Thank you for being a teacher, an influencer, someone that these gentlemen have someone to look up to, because you are setting a positive tone, a positive light. And when there are people in the community that do something right, they do it just. You're doing something not because you have to, but because you want to. You deserve appreciation and recognition.
Mark 11:24. And it says that when you pray, and if you believe in what it is that you are praying for, it will be given unto you.